Oh, hi from Germany. Selena, hi. Let's see. Oh,
Hi.
hi. Oh my God, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm better now. I haven't seen you in forever.
Same. It has been so long, too long.
Oh
Makes
my
me
gosh.
sad. I feel
Oh,
like we communicate through text and we stay up to date on social media. It's one of the bad things is like as you get older, like thank God we have social media now because I'm like, oh, that's what Alex is doing. Oh, she's got a show. Oh, she's got a new album. Oh, she's got I'm so happy to see your face too. This makes me so happy.
I'm so happy to see you. Well, for all my followers who don't know Danielle, Danielle is amazing and you need to know her now. She is currently one of the leads on Station 19, an amazing Grey's Anatomy spinoff. And she plays a badass firefighter. And oh, it's so exciting to like just watch you on that show. And you're obviously you kill it every week too.
Well,
But it's so exciting to like. It's like I've seen it take off, and I love it.
you've seen it from the beginning. You've seen all the rough years. You saw the auditions. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to give some backstory. So Alex and I met because Alex's mother, Candy, is my acting coach and has been my acting coach since I was 12. And that's how Alex and I initially met, was that I would come over and I would do all of my auditions and I would go into your house when I was 12 years old and run every audition for every scene, for everything I did from 12 on. And she taught me everything I know. And we would actually, do you remember we would run scenes together? Your mom
yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, I do remember that. And I remember thinking it's like, yeah, I can read these lines pretty well. And then like, oh wait, she's the professional. I'm just gonna read the line. If I wasn't sleeping till noon because,
you have a
there's
different lifestyle though. That's another factor is like the music world and the acting world are so different. I mean, every once in a while we do night stuff, but music is nighttime. Like you guys are always basically you start performing at what? What's the earliest? I mean, I know you've performed early, but like if it's a night gig, what's the earliest you perform? 6, 7?
No, like
Not
8
even.
would be the earliest.
See?
8 would be the earliest. Some places wouldn't even kick off till like 10:30.
And 8 is when I'm going home. So
yeah, right. I do remember
at one concert.
My mom on many occasions had you lift my couch.
Yep. No, we could go down a whole world of
yeah.
That's one of the things we need to bring your mom on one of these days and do one just with Candy where we can talk about all the things she put me through. Put me in a trunk of a car once. Yep.
And not
all
telling the neighbors what was going on. Yeah.
Oh God, it was hilarious. But that's how we met, was through your mom, and then we just hit it off and you ran lines with me, and then at one point, I mean, you've been doing music for as long as I've known you, and I've been acting for as long as you've known me.
Pretty much. But when we met, you were doing music too.
I was doing music, but we've done so. I mean, that's what led to us writing some. Yep. Yeah, I was in. That's right. When we met, I was in. Which girl band was I in at that time? Was it Trinity? The 3-girl group?
Trinity? Yeah, it was Trinity.
Yeah. So we did when initially that was right. The first one we did was Trinity, and I was in a girl group. And yeah, we toured everywhere in like Southern California, like the outside opening gig for Jesse McCartney. Like, yes, I did the music world and then went solo for a little bit. And we've actually, if no one knows, have written songs together, and a couple of your songs. Just one. You only have one. You only have Good Night on your albums, right?
Good Night is on. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs too. Like, you are such a great lyricist. Like, you have such great ideas, and you think of lines that I'm like, they really make you think, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so brilliant the way you put it.
That's crazy. You are an amazing lyricist and can also sing your lungs out. I'm gonna say heart out, yes, but my gosh, you guys need to go hear Alex's music. It's every time people hear your music, they're like, who is this? Where is she? What, that voice? Oh my gosh. Because you can belt them out and it is gorgeous. It gives you, whenever you see Alex live in concert, and I recommend it if anyone ever is around and can see Alex live, go see it, because every time you sing, you give me goosebumps. Every time.
I feel
It's
the same
true.
way about watching you, especially when you cut your hair on screen. I was just like, oh, yes. Oh, my God, you're amazing.
Stop it.
You've made
This
me cry
is
a few
why
times.
we're such good friends, is we just sit here and give compliments to each other.
Oh, it's true, though. It's so true. It's so true.
Which I think
We
is
had a couple gigs together, too.
we
Actually,
have.
that one of the Trinity gigs, you guys were playing, and I was playing with another girl band called Knockout. We were playing both at the Simi Valley Days fair.
The festival, the fair.
But that was 2001, and that was like September 12th, and it was crazy and weird. But I remember your guys' costumes were really cute.
We did have the costumes down. Our songs were very poppy. Yours were like really, really good.
No, ours were really poppy too.
That is so, I had forgotten about that performance. The one I remember is when I did, so then I went eventually trying to follow along and not go on too many tangents, is I started my own solo career and started singing on my own, and I did an album release party, and you performed with me at the album release party and opened and like set the tone and made everyone, and I was like, wait a second, as it was happening, I was like, why did I have Alex open for me? She's so much better.
Oh, stop it. And we did La La together too a couple of times.
We did, but it made me laugh so hard when I was like, oh my God, I'm making myself like, oh my God.
You were so ridiculous.
No, you were amazing. But I was remembering that, but I totally forgot about Simi Valley Days is what they call it.
Simi Valley Days, yes. And that other one down in San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, like, we've actually done quite a few gigs together.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the Burn It
Taking
Down,
a moment just to remember that. Wow.
You hosted two of them. And
that was fun.
And somebody thought you were me. I was like, that
happens a lot too. No, we have both ways. But it's funny, my tactic of hosting, which is funny that you asked me to do it the second time, is just so everyone knows, my tactic of hosting is just to go up on stage, tell everyone to start drinking, and then I start drinking on stage. And then that's how I host a party.
Yeah, you remember you made the whole band and like everybody do a shot, but you were really kind to me and gave me water, so I didn't have to take a shot right before playing.
I do remember that. Oh my gosh, I'm so a horrible person. I'm just forcing everyone.
You're amazing.
A lot of good memories throughout the years, and then ever since I booked Station 19, I saw you a lot season 1 and season 2, and then this last 2 seasons have just been. We have not seen each other enough. It's so sad.
Well, the world shut down. So
that's right. I always keep putting that out of my head. It's still somewhat shut down. It's still
we need to have you over again for our Thanksgiving, Friday Thanksgiving.
I would love that.
Because I remember that the one you were at, you were working on buying your house.
That's right. That's
Not
right.
This
it was
house.
2 years ago.
It was the other house.
Oh, the Chicago house.
Chicago house? I think it was the Chicago house.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. Between sweet potatoes and turkey, it's just like, oh, like realtor.
Best Thanksgiving dinner ever, but it's crazy because I'd also I eat too much. You know this. I always go back for seconds and thirds and fourths at your house, and I know it's a compliment to your mom, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to fit in my pants for work on Monday.
Yeah, my mom's a good cook, and my mom she makes the same Thanksgiving dinner every year. One year she tried to make something different instead of her cheesy potatoes, and I threw a fit.
You're like, no.
Yeah. No.
The best. That's what's dangerous. Every time you guys invite me over for dinner, I'm like, I can't tell. Am I going to be in like a bra scene coming up? I don't know. Because if I am, I can't come over the house. Because I know I'll eat all the food.
Oh my gosh. So we played together, but other than reading lines, we've never acted together. I think I'm way too, even though I've done quite a bit in my past, and I ultimately kind of had the same teacher, my mom. But
ultimately,
other than reading lines with you, I'm like, yeah, she's way better at this. I'm gonna let her do that. Okay, you do that.
I think we're noticing a trend here. I keep saying how I'm like, Alex is way better at music than me, and you're like, Neil's way better at acting than me. So obviously we chose like right paths in the end.
We did.
No, you were great to read with. I had a blast. It was fun.
Oh
But it's
my
interesting.
gosh.
I know that like we wanted to kind of discuss like women supporting women and like, just how hard that is in the industry and in general, and in this industry, but in every industry. And it's interesting that we've been friends now since, I mean, how many years is that now? Let's not give away my age. Never mind. A very long time.
Oh, I've given away mine a long time ago.
I mean, I do too, but when I say it, it makes it real. So I just try to, I'm like,
Okay,
no, I'm
fair
not.
enough. Well,
But
let's
yeah,
put it this way. I've been married for 13 years.
Oh my God.
I still remember that picture. So Danielle was in my
wedding.
Danielle was one of my bridesmaids.
Yep.
We all got our nails done. Get whatever you want. Danielle gets black nails. These aren't black, but gets black fingernails. And I remember that you have this one picture and you're in the bright red sunglasses, the blue dress, and you're just like yes.
I was like totally in that rebel phase too. Like you've always seen me at like these weird phases where you've seen all of my phases. Do you remember when we tried to start a clothing design company too?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I still have like all like the sketches and a ton of that fabric. And
you know what? I thought some of our stuff was pretty damn cute, but it's just really funny.
I did too. The problem is I don't know how to sew. I just had a sewing machine. So we've skipped a major step in we missed a major step in there. But
fun.
I made your prom dress though.
You did make my prom dress, my gorgeous prom dress. I'll have to post about that. I'll have to find a picture. I've got it. I can't, maybe not on my phone, but I think it's in my iCloud somewhere. I'll have to find a picture.
I definitely had help with that though. I had help with that from my godmother.
Okay.
My Auntie Starla. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a beautiful dress.
With the shawl.
With the weaved shawl.
Yes. Woven. That was my mom's idea.
I love that. It's so stunning.
Well, you looked amazing in it too. So there was that. And then I came over to see you off for your prom.
I remember that.
In this tank top and these little shorts, and I look completely unkempt. And you're like perfect.
You didn't look unkempt. You looked amazing. But I was also, yes, I remember that too. God, you're bringing up so many memories that I'm like, oh.
But like, it's like we've been friends for a really long time.
Yep.
And it's always been like, that's the thing. Like when I run into, like, I know that, especially running into other female musicians, it's like, we're not in competition with each other, even if we audition for the same thing. And it's the same in acting or anything else either. You're not in competition with someone else, especially when it's something that's artistic, you know? It's like, and that's a lot of this last album of mine was, anytime I'd hear a new singer who was younger than me or sounded better or farther along in their career, I'd be like heartbroken because I felt like their success was my failure. I was like, no, listen to them, rejoice in their successes and learn from them and soak up their art and what they're doing. And it's like we need to support each other, and that's one thing with all of my friends, though. I have very, very genuinely always been like so stoked when something great happens. So stoked.
Yeah.
But I definitely, for me, have needed to like, I never ever wanted to tear anybody down, but at the same time, it's that competition mindset. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Sorry.
No, I was saying we're not in competition. We work together. Even if it's like, say you and I are vying for the same part. You get the part. I feel like I lost or whatever. It's my failure. But I watch you do that part and I learn from what you're doing, or I'm inspired by how you play that part. That's a positive thing.
Yeah.
And I should be happy for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was one thing I was like, earlier, and then wait, what did I think?
Sorry.
Don't be. Are you kidding me? I'm just trying to do my thing where my brain's like, okay, did I have enough coffee? Remember everything I was thinking during that. I agree. The first thing you brought up is like talking about how we compare first, and I think comparing is what then leads to that competitive and maybe / jealousy that comes up a lot. That you see, it happens in men too. Competing. It seems more so that it's broadcast when women do it, unfortunately. And we seem to be pitted against each other. But I think it really starts from people comparing themselves to other people. And the truth is that we're all so unique in our individuality that, like, I've always had to learn, because to say that never crept up when I was earlier in my career, like, oh, I'm upset and I'm competing with them and I'm jealous they got the job and I envy them that they got the job. It absolutely happened when I was younger, and you have to get past it. It'll just eat you alive.
Exactly. Same.
Is that I was realizing that if, you know, I was like, first of all, the most important thing needs to be me going in the room and having the best time and doing my best work, because the truth is I think what you touched on too is that if you love your craft and you love your job, really what's great is even just going in and auditioning for something, is having an opportunity for it, but making sure that your unique true self when you do that, because that's what's going to stand out. Because at the end of the day, there are a ton, millions of people that are talented, millions. That's what makes the world so amazing. And it's really just that being your unique self, that if it comes down to that competitive nature of like one specific job, it's like you being your unique self is what's going to kind of shine through. And you've got to like trust that that's what is special and what's gonna work and what's gonna click with whatever that is. And if it doesn't work out, what I've discovered too is I used to get so down. I'm like, oh, I tested a film that like didn't go, it didn't work, and all of a sudden I realized that I end up booking another job that would have shot while I was at that job, and this job changed my life. Like Station 19 was one of those. Like I was really upset when a show I was on had gotten canceled in July. I booked Station 19 in September. If that show had not gotten canceled, I never would have had the opportunity to even audition for Station 19. So there's also that. So I say like the, you know, women competing with each other, the jealousy with each other, all that stuff. I don't think it's as prevalent as people assume. I think it became this kind of idea that people put out there. And now that we're in the industry, I'm friends with so many women. I'm on a show with other women. Everyone I know, every woman I know in my life, we all support each other. So it's one of those things that I hope that narrative starts changing, because I don't think it's as common as people make it out to be. But I think it exists, and I think people thrive off the idea that, oh, these two women hate each other, these two women are fighting against each other, or because
and it's not so much them fighting against each other necessarily, it's us fighting against our own I don't know, insecurities, our own, like, you know, where it's that comparison. It's when you're comparing yourself to other people, that's when it's more of an internal thing. It's like, I don't have anything against so and so for getting the job or booking the gig, but I feel bad about myself that I didn't get that. And it's like, no, nobody's comparing anybody. It's unnecessary.
Well, you feel like a failure, and it's sad, because you also feel like sometimes you can't get past that. You're like, how do I feel like I'm less than? You always feel like I'm less than because I didn't book it. What did I do that I didn't do? And so much of it is, I hate using the word luck, because luck sounds like there's no like effort put into it or anything like that. But it was interesting. We're shooting an episode right now, and one of the guest stars actually asked me, she's like, so what's the secret? I was like, oh, I wish I knew. And I didn't want to say luck, because luck it takes away the time and the effort and all this preparation that we put into the work, right? You know, luck makes it sound like you walked in the door and just got hired, which is not the case either. But sometimes it's just right place, right time. But that's talking about specific successes and stuff like that when you don't feel like you fail. But I'm using that opposite kind of comparison of like, you shouldn't feel like a failure, because even getting it is there's a little bit of chance in there. You can only be so prepared, come in and do your best job, and then one of them just hits and it works, and there's no rhyme or reason.
What is it? Preparation meets opportunity.
Yep. That's what they say luck is, which is why I like using the word luck. But most people associate luck with like, oh, you just literally got lucky. Like you didn't try. Yeah. You didn't do anything. And I'm like, no, that's not the luck I'm referring to. I'm really referring to when preparation meets opportunity. So I should just use a long version of that.
Overnight successes take 20 years usually. Isn't that what they say?
I mean, like you said, I've known you since I was 12 and been acting with, you've known me since 12 and acting, but I started when I was 7. So I've been doing this again, not going to register my age, but it's been a very long time before I finally got Station 19, even though I've been working this whole time. And same with you. You started singing when you were how old?
I started recording professionally when I was 9.
I mean, you think about that and you think about all the years, and then what's crazy is when you finally hit it, it happens overnight, and everyone all of a sudden, the viewers of the show know my name if they watch the show, and now you're like,
Mm-hmm.
God, these people know me, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And it happens overnight, and they're like, where are you? Where have you been? I'm like, I've been here. I've been here.
I know this. Sometimes I'll be out playing in a bar or whatever, and somebody else like, how come, why are you playing here? Why aren't you playing in this stadium? And I'm just like, I don't know. You want to buy my album?
Yeah.
Starts there, Betty.
It does. It really does. So it's interesting. But going back to, I guess, the female kind of, what would you call it? Not even competition, comparison. I think comparing yourself to anyone
Comparison, yeah.
is almost a better way to put it, because I do think that's what we end up getting so down on ourselves about, is we compare. Everyone does it. We do it on social media. You see someone else has a kid and a dog in a house, and you're like, oh, I want the kid, a dog in a house. They have what I don't have. This is just an example. I'm not saying to anybody I want these things right now. I'm like, please don't read into this. I'm just saying as an example. You see that, and you kind of are like, oh, I want that. It's always this comparison game that I think, unfortunately, we don't even do consciously. We just kind of do it, and then it leads to, jealousy and envy, and kind of, it's sad. It's like, I don't know how to fix that either, except for finding that core group of people that when you see their successes, you're happy for them. When you see, and when you're so confident and you understand your own worth, that's a big part of it too. When you're finally like, oh, I know my own worth and what I want, then I'm not ever really comparing myself to anyone else, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not great at that, but she is amazing at that. Like, I don't know if I want, the house with the white picket fence and the dog, but she does. And that's going to make her so happy. And she looks happy, which is a great thing. And she should be like, I don't know how you switch that mindset completely. I think it takes time, but I think we have to just break down the comparing ourselves to each other, especially women.
Well, we need to celebrate each other's, victories and accomplishments and opportunities too. It's like,
Yeah.
if somebody
Which I think we do very well.
Oh, we do, for sure. We do, but it needs to be more commonplace, I think. Like it needs to be more, that's the go-to, not the, well, why didn't I get that gig? Or what did I do wrong to not get that? Or I'm jealous. It's like, no, it's like when you think somebody gets a great gig or a great show or something, it's like, first thought needs to be, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I hope that I get something like that, and I'm going to work towards it. And if anything, it should be an inspiration.
Yeah. And that is true. It's so funny. And I think I'm getting better with social media at verbalizing it publicly. So my friend Francia, do you remember Francia? I did bring it on.
Oh, yeah.
So Francia just booked the lead in How I Met Your Father. How I Met Your Mother.
I saw that.
And
That's
I made
awesome.
Like, I immediately texted her. I immediately commented in the post. Like, I'm getting, because before I used to just call people and be like, congratulations, or I'd just internally be like, yay, I'm so excited. And I'm realizing it really makes a difference when you reach out to that person and say, congratulations, great job. That song you just released is amazing. I'm purchasing it now. So they know. So it's not just like, Alex, obviously, I've purchased every album you've ever released, every song, every single, every anything. But it's like making sure they know, like, hey, I've purchased it. Hey, I love it. Hey, great work. Even those little things go so far in at least making, I think, other people, and I think we're talking mainly just about supporting women and supporting each other, but like that really help women feel like they're supported by other women, which is so important, because sometimes it can get a little lonely. I mean, every occupation feels like it's dominated by men. And that's not.
Yep. Pretty much.
It's not like a dig on men. It's not like, oh, I'm not saying anything bad about men and the fact that there's a lot in the work industry. I'm just saying you kind of end up, if you don't feel like you have female support, you sometimes get a little lost where you're like, I mean, I know your entire band is male. I know when you've toured with people, it's usually men. Like, you usually are the only female. And to not feel like you're supported by other females I'm sure can suck. What's that like? I never actually, until this moment, like really clicked that I was like, you're always, I mean, I feel it, but I think there's more women in my industry, or at least on sets. Whereas like when you tour, it's like all men, isn't it?
When I did the Santana tour, I was the only female on that when I toured with Salvador. When I go out with URP, there's maybe one or two other women, which is nice. But I think it's interesting because I always, of course, I have the support of my mom and all the women in my family. I have support of you. I know I've always had that. Katie, obviously Katie. You know, so I do feel like I have that, and I feel like the group of people that like female musicians that you know have kind of like, I guess, I've cultivated in my life, and the people I've gotten to know, they've always been really wonderful. And to be honest, all of, like, I would say 99% of the men that I have worked with, now there are a couple that are but everybody has been nothing but respectful and nothing but like encouraging. Like when I did the Santana run, like, I mean, nervous because it's like, wow, this is a legend that I get to play with. Everybody in that band, second I stepped on stage for the first rehearsal, it was like, I felt welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel less than anybody. Everybody, it just felt like such a positive working environment. And I think that has a lot to do with it too.
It does.
But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, but I'm very thankful that the people that I do have, you know, especially the women, are always like super supportive.
So what's the secret then? So we're talking about specifically about women supporting women and how it doesn't, you know, it's the idea is that women are jealous and in competition with other women, but with both of our experiences, we really haven't dealt with that. So what is the secret to that then? Because we really haven't. I mean, yes, there's been a couple people in my life, women that I'll never understand. We never usually talked it out, but for whatever reason didn't like me for one reason or another. And
I've had
happened. But and I think you said you have had those too. So you have those. So how do you though just make sure that the people you're on? I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is like we've been so lucky that all the people that we're both surrounded with are so supportive that I don't know.
For every person out there who is, like, for lack of a better term, a jerk or toxic or hard to work with, there is another person who is equally, if not more talented, who is kind, who is positive, and who's just an absolute dream to work with. And I think like I've worked with people before, and I've hired people before that, you know what, we need to part ways. I need to, you know, we can't do this project this way anymore. I need to go a different direction. I need to find somebody else. Now, if you're getting called into something, or if you audition for something and you show up, you kind of can't pick the people that are there. But, you know, as your career, you know, progresses, like for me, I have certain musicians I can call that I love to work with, you know, and like you working on your on your short and everything like that, you call the people you want to have there, and those people usually have good people around them too. So I think it's just kind of the pockets that you go into.
True. That's a big part of it. You're right. Even just using that as an analogy, I remember there was a lot of people that weren't available that I called because they moved on other jobs. But you the people that you build relationships with and bonds with, the type of people they are, they're going to recommend people that are like them. So you get good people surround themselves with like good people. And I mean good people as in like just solid, authentic, good people. What I wanted to ask the fans that are commenting is like, what are there any experiences that they're going through with, say, girls that are feeling like they're in competition, or maybe they're feeling envious of somebody or jealous of a girl, or why? Women take advantage of me. Now, Casey said, I need some positive women in my life. All I get is women who use and take advantage of me. And how exactly do you feel they use and take advantage of you? I mean, that's not good, and they obviously shouldn't be in your life. But I wonder, like, picking that apart and being like, how do they use and take advantage of you? In what ways? And can you combat that yourself by standing up for yourself? Like sometimes people, what I discovered, because I'm a people pleaser. I'm a big pleaser. I want everyone to like me, and I want to be happy all the time. and I like everyone to have a good time. And like my joy at like my, like say my birthday dinner, my happiness is that everyone else is having a good time. Like I'm not weird. And so I realized like I had times in my life, and Alex, you've been there, like where people were taking advantage of me, but they didn't know that they were taking advantage of me because I'm so bubbly and giving and stuff. They didn't realize that what they were asking was pushing me, was causing me stress or anxiety or whatever. And I finally, with the therapist help, you know,
oh yeah, I've had that myself.
like tell them like, hey, listen, like what you're doing isn't fair to me or hurts my feelings. And what's crazy is you're so scared to have those conversations with friends sometimes. And the truth is that once you have them, you're relieved. And usually people are really, really apologetic. Like they don't actually realize they were taking advantage of you. Now being rude to or mean to is something completely different. But I think once you start standing up for yourself and knowing your worth, you start surrounding yourself with people that treat you the way that you want to be treated because you yourself value what your worth is.
I think part of it too is it comes from like an internal thing. You know, I just saw a comment. Sorry, I totally missed it.
No,
like,
please. No.
Group of 20 plus girlfriends for long time, and said it's still, forgive me if I read it wrong. They still get, you know, competitive, but I think a lot of that, it starts with us. It starts with our own, like, why am I feeling like I have to do better? Why do I feel like I have to prove myself? It's like, and it's so hard. Like, I mean, you could literally be the most beautiful human on the planet with like, you know, the most famous human, everybody loves you, and still not feel good inside. You know, it's like we have to accept ourselves. We have to be proud of the journeys that we've taken. We have to take the setbacks and you know, I guess the losses, and be like, you know what, that is part of my story. That is part of what brought me to this right now. You know, that's part of how I became who I am, and that's okay. You know, like I didn't, you know, there are things that you know, I've been told no for in the past, or I you know, I feel like I didn't do my best, or I feel like I failed, or whatever, auditions, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that wasn't meant for me. That doesn't mean just because I didn't get a job, just because somebody else got something that I didn't, or doesn't, someone else's success is not my failure. Someone else's opportunity is not my loss. I have my own. And like you said, guarantee you, they probably feel the same way about themselves, about a lot of stuff that other people have gotten too.
What's crazy is we all go through it. We all, like everyone, no matter what, the person that got it is probably dealing with their own, like feeling like they're a failure in other ways. And that's what's sad, is like, how do you kind of eradicate it completely? How does everyone just start feeling comfortable with where they're at? And I think
therapy number one is good. But it's okay to be, it's like, you got to be patient with yourself.
Your unpaid therapist?
Yeah, unpaid therapist, yeah. Those would be my cats. But it's okay. A really, really great friend from high school told me once, because I always said, it's like, you guys were so cool, and I always wanted to be invited to things, and seriously, longtime good friend. You know, I always felt like I was so nerdy and I was so weird and just didn't fit in. And she told me, and she, in my mind, was like super cool, super chill. Like everybody loved her, and the people that didn't, she didn't care, because she was too cool for that, you know?
Of course, that's how you saw her, yeah.
Yeah. And she told me, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was terrified of everything all the time. I felt the exact same way. And I was like,
mind blown.
Everybody feels like crap about themselves, unfortunately. And that's,
but it's like, how do you fix that? I guess you don't. I think you just have to address it and be honest about it.
Be honest about it, and learn to, like, you know, learn to love yourself. And I mean, that sounds so hokey, but
it's,
you know, learn to,
though. You have to learn. That's where it has to start, is you have to learn how to love yourself for who you are and go from there. Because like, unless, and I'm sure I struggled with that for a while. You know, their body's not perfect, your face isn't perfect, your hair's not perfect, your clothes aren't perfect, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough things, you don't have enough jobs, you don't have enough on your resume. Like nothing seems perfect until finally one day I was just like, you know what?
Even if you have all those things, you're not going to be perfect or happy,
but also
because of those things.
Yes, those things aren't going to bring you happiness. It's not going to be a switch. But it's also like finally looking in the mirror and just being like, no, I'm happy with what I've got. Yeah, I may not be as skinny as this person, or as in shape as that person, or as tan as that person, or whatever the little things are that I get about. But I've learned that I had to kind of stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself and be like, I'm okay with this though.
Well, and look at what you're doing now too. It's like you have this amazing opportunity to do what you love, and you're, just exercise your craft that you worked so hard on. And like I started feeling that way, like, we did some shows on the road, and not Santana, a different thing. And one of the shows, we had like 3 people in the audience. It was pretty bad. But you know what? I didn't care. I was out. I got to sing, and I felt like I sang my tail off. And everybody else was like, well, that was a rough gig. And I was just like, are you kidding me? I had the time of my life. Those 3 people deserve all my energy just as much as a crowd of like 10,000 does. And it's like,
true.
I love singing. I love making music. So why wouldn't I be happy making music if I have a chance to do it? It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so tricky.
Someone once told me, and I'll never forget it, and it kind of always plays in my head, and I don't write things down anymore. I just kind of do this like internal conversation in my head sometimes, is write down the things you need and write down the things you want, and actually see what do you really like, the want, kind of like, yes, we all want that. We all want to be, I would love to be a billionaire and not have to worry about anything the rest of my life, and and the world to cure cancer and every other thing, and have no poverty and peace on earth and all these things. Want them all, but what do you need? Like right now, what do you need? And it's funny because I think what you really need is a core, going back to how this started, is you need a core group of people around you that support you and you support them, and that love each other, no matter what level of success you have with your career, no matter what you look like, no matter like all the superficial things that really aren't tangible. Like,
and maybe it starts with actively supporting other people that you know.
Yep.
It's like if you actively support them, you're going to see reciprocation, not necessarily because they have to, but because they are probably feeling like starting to feel better about themselves. So they start to feel better about other people doing well. And it's, there's room for everybody. Everybody has their own path. There's room for everybody in whatever those paths are. But we need to focus on lifting each other up, as opposed to worrying about where we are in comparison.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. And that may just be a life lesson that we all take our whole lives learning, which really sucks, because life would be a lot easier if it was just like, oh, okay, I get it. Cool. Let's move on to the next thing.
Recently, or not learned, but like on Instagram, I felt like it's so positive, is like those pages like Kindness Movement, or I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. I follow them.
Love What Matters.
What was that one called?
Love What Matters, I think, is another one. Little Things. I did a thing for Little Things a long time ago. It was cool. And Little Things is just little positive acts of kindness and stuff like that. I did a thing out for them in New York. And some good news, John Krasinski's.
Oh, see, I don't even know about these ones. But
girl. Some good news was amazing during the pandemic. So necessary.
Post about all these too. And like the ones that because I think this is so relevant to what we're talking about. But like the videos that I love the most are the ones of like the person driving and just yelling out the window like, "You're beautiful. I like your shoes. Oh my God, I love that shirt." Like
that's what I try to do a lot in my music in general too, is be positive. And those, yes, John Krasinski's is amazing. Just be really positive about things, because I've been to the darkest of the dark and the deepest of the deep. And you know what? Life's not about that. It's not about that. And it's horrible. And I don't want other people in that same place. And same thing with like song I did a while ago. I can't even think of the name. Oh my gosh. Show a Little Love. We went around doing random acts of kindness and just filmed it, you know, for this.
I remember that.
And at one point, Danica, you remember Danica? She came, ran up and just like knocked me over, giving me this huge hug. We went out and we got sandwiches for homeless people. We went out, we actually did these things, you know, and it was just like, just show a little love while you got the time. And it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. It really, really is.
Oh, that brings me back so many good feelings.
Oh, I miss you. I miss you. So we,
yes. Is there any comments that you saw in this live that jumped out at you at all?
And then going so fast.
That there was
you both overcame a ton of BS. Yes, we did.
Everyone has. Like everyone has. I'm sure that person that said it has too. Like you.
Oh yeah. You know what? And if you have to go through something crappy, and if something crappy happens in your life, you take it and you turn that around. You don't let it be crappy in your life. You find any good you can pull out of it, and you pull that good out of it, and you make it better. And you find light, and if there is no light, you be the light, and you create that light.
You know what? I have this new shirt, and I'll have to wear it and take a picture of it for the fans. It says, because I get called Sunshine. That's kind of my thing now, is I'm Sunshine. And I have a shirt that says Sunshine. And when I was on my road trip right before work started, there's a shirt that said, if you cannot be the sunshine, find the sunshine. And I immediately grabbed it. It was like high up in my ass. I was like, can you please give me that shirt? I need that shirt.
That one.
Because it's so true. Like, you can't always be the sunshine. You can't always be positive and happy and excited. And I've talked to my fans about that before. But if you can find somehow or something out there that brings you happiness, or having friends in your life and support, you know, people around you that can support you through stuff like that, it makes a huge difference. And we've had each other all these many, many years that we're not going to say the number of.
We're not going to say how many. And you can guess, but we won't tell you. I don't know if we actually really know.
I actually don't know. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not going to do the math right now. Actually, that's an easy math. I do know the number. Never mind. We're not talking about it. It's even worse than I thought.
Is it? I don't know. I keep forgetting how old I am. I have, like, you know what?
Problem too. As I told her, I'm like, I forgot how old I was.
Since I did my 20 years cancer free and all that, I have blatantly aged myself.
How many years? 20?
Yeah, just 20 was the album release.
That was the 20 year. Wow.
Oh, hi, Brian. I had to say hi to Brian.
Oh my God, hi, Brian.
Well, we actually had some fan questions.
Yes.
That were submitted beforehand. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Stacy Griffin at StacyMG2000 wants to know if Alex has a favorite role Danielle has played, and what's Danielle's favorite song by Alex?
Ooh, that's tough for you because I love all of your music.
Aww, you're so sweet.
So I'm
trying to think of my favorite role for you too, and it's. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
We did the talk over thing. I'm like, wait, I've got to say my favorite songs first. I think I love Beggin' because it's so catchy. I love Toxic People because it's so fun. I love Good Night for my own personal reasons because we wrote it together and it means so much to me. And there's another one that's like
Good Night. I've always felt like Good Night is a very special. That one in particular is a special.
Yeah,
it's a special piece.
I'm forgetting some of the names of them.
Those are my baby. I don't really sing like that, I promise.
To write to. We wrote that in like one night. Not even
I think there was one line that we like couldn't decide on, and it took us a couple weeks to like figure out what the one line was. I think it was that. Was that one, or was it might have been Hate. Hate was the first one we wrote.
But we didn't do anything with Hate or your song, right? Those songs weren't.
No.
Only Good Night, right?
Good Night and La La.
Because it's funny, I have those songs. Like I have our like little recordings of them, so I have.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too. I still have them.
Let me see. I'm trying to think. Anyways, yeah, and favorite role. We don't need to say my favorite role. Fine.
Well, the first thing when I read that earlier, Eddie was like, Kaya, you killed that whole season. And that album was amazing. And I'm so sad that didn't go anywhere because you were fabulous in that. But every time you do something new, I'm just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Because you keep growing and you keep just expanding as an artist. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, she killed in that. So it's really hard to compare things. Though I really did like, I think it was a blooper I saw of Boogeyman 2 when thing exploded and you're like, ah!
Yeah, I remember that too. Oh my God.
That was pretty amazing.
See that. Well, thank you for saying that. That feeling is mutual. You have also every album. You just reinvent yourself every album. And it's interesting to hear what comes of it. And every album's, you just raise the bar even higher. And I didn't think you could. I'm like, Jesus, these songs are even better than the last ones. Like everyone that hasn't gone and listened to all of Alex's albums should, and buy all of them and listen to them. And because they range so much. Like you listen to Beggin' and Goodnight and Toxic People, that is 3 very different songs.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
So
I'm actually thinking about redoing Beggin' because it's actually caught on in like different parts of India and South Korea with this newer dance craze called whacking, which is just a very expressive form of dance. And I keep seeing videos pop up of people whacking to my song, but it's sped up like crazy. So I kind of want to redo it, do a new version at that tempo, which is
like a remix.
Fast. But actually play it, the whole thing at that ripping fast tempo. You should.
I need to look up this whacking thing. I really need to.
It's pretty rad. I'll send you videos. I'm always so excited when I see stuff.
Deal.
Let's see. Let's get to another question while we have a little bit of time. Amy Ditchak, I'm sure I'm butchering your name, Amy. I'm really sorry. At Modi133 wants to know, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, yeah, wait a second. This isn't fair. What is your go-to karaoke song? Because you could belt out every song. Like, what is your favorite?
I love doing I'm Every Woman.
Oh.
Chaka Khan /
I know. That's a good.
And everybody sings along, and it's usually a drunken mess.
And that's so fitting for the conversations of what we were talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, what's yours?
You heard me perform this one. Mine is always Black Velvet, which I have no idea why.
I do remember that. You played that at the San Diego gig. I remember that.
Yeah, like I always liked it, so I always would sing it. But I think recently, if I had to do karaoke now, which obviously I haven't done in a while because the world shut down, and prior to that I hadn't done karaoke, I think it's by Maren Morris. It's Bones. It's like more of a country song.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I'll
check it out.
Love it. And like I'm like, if I had a karaoke song now, I think that would be it. But yeah, I used to sing Black Velvet all the time.
I remember that. Let's see. I need to stop saying names because I don't know how to pronounce them very well. Clau Silveira. I'm so sorry. At Clau _ wants to know what song best describes your friendship.
I was going to say, and I don't know who sings it, maybe you do, but You Got a Friend in Me, you know, the one that they sing in.
Oh, yes. I love that. I'm gonna have to ditto that.
I don't know who sings it, but I love it so much. And the second I saw that question, I was like, oh yeah, that's the song. I was like, You Got a Friend in Me, right?
And it's so positive and so happy and like, aw. I'm gonna have to ditto that. I
don't even know if it's like a full-on song. It's like them talking, but I love it so much.
No, I think it is a full song.
Is it?
I think it's actually been called on one of my gigs before, and I was like, what? I know.
It's definitely.
Let's see. Zarina. I'm apologizing for all these people whose names I'm saying wrong. At Zarina Fraxidio, testing my reading skills here, wants to know if you two will ever write a song together. Done it.
Yep.
Or perform a cover together. Have we performed a cover together?
We at the San Diego?
Huh?
Did we at the San Diego show?
We might have, but I know we did La La together a couple times.
Ooh.
Like at Burn It Down. Oh.
La La isn't on an album, isn't it? It's not.
But it's not a cover song because we wrote it.
No.
That whole thing about
no,
flies,
but I was like,
who is it? It's moths to a flame, not flies to a flame, because flies are attracted to shiitake.
Yeah.
And I think it still says flies in there anyway because I'm like, well, whatever.
Oh my gosh. No, we have never, I don't think we've ever really performed a cover. And if we have, we don't recall it, but we've performed songs we've written before, and we have written songs. We have written many songs together at this point. We need
to write more together.
I'm down.
Well, when I see you, hopefully.
When we have time. Both of our lives are crazy, but yes, we can always do it. I mean, the world we live in is Zoom now. We could easily do this over Zoom.
That's true. That's a good point. I do want to actually see your face, like, in person, though.
Yeah, we can do that. A birthday is coming up soon, so we might have to see each other.
Oh, yeah. In a hot minute.
In a hot minute.
Excited.
Okay, this Instagram's going to turn us off in 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay, let me jump into, I'm going to jump into like 1 or 2 more if we can.
Yeah,
but we'll go fast.
You know what, too? To point out, because everyone keeps asking us to sing, I'm not guaranteeing we will do this because I don't know if I feel comfortable singing opposite you, Alex, anymore these days because I haven't sang. But maybe we will do a duet of something. Maybe we'll perform something.
We need to, yeah.
Maybe. Let's like do a rehearsal and see how I feel. Okay. And then I'm not promising anything, but a lot of people have asked for it, so maybe.
I'm also seeing Station 19 musical episode, which at some point
it has to happen.
It has to happen. And that's awesome. Can I audition to be like somebody you save me from the fire?
Yeah, wait, you could easily do that.
It's like, why is that corpse singing? No, I'm kidding. Layla Whithead at Layla_official wants to know what's one embarrassing memory you have together.
I don't have any embarrassing memories of you is my problem. I was like, I can't think of anything embarrassing.
I'm sure you do.
I don't though.
I do remember, and I thought of 2 things, and I'm not sure how much I can actually say.
Well, were alcohol involved in both of them is my question.
The second one, not the first one.
Okay.
The first one was driving down to San Diego.
What did I do?
Well, I just remember you had to pee like nobody's business. We kept stopping at places that didn't have restrooms. You were about to get out of the car and go like pee behind a bush, but there was like a cop right there.
No, I don't want this at all.
It was bad. It was bad. She found a bathroom. Don't worry. So it wasn't that embarrassing, I guess.
Where did I go in the bathroom?
I don't remember. We were trying to find the venue, and it was like 3 hours down there, and
because there was an accident.
Because you were like holding the wheel, like I'm dying.
I
hate to say it's embarrassing, but
it is embarrassing, and this happens more than once. And I'm not even going to get into a conversation about me having to pee on road trips.
That's why I didn't know how much I could say. That's
an hour-long conversation about me having to.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
the other one was after that award show. You, me, and Katie. When those guys wanted to go to some party, and we're like, yeah. We ended up going to In-N-Out, but yeah, that
one involved alcohol.
It did.
And that one will live in my brain.
Forever. Yeah, that's why I'm leaving it there.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. All right, let's do one more quick one. Camila at g.cami. I'm so sorry for all of these pronunciations. Wants to know what's something risky you want to do.
What's something risky?
Katie knows. Katie was there. Katie's laughing. Sorry.
Wait, what's something risky I want to do?
Yes.
Skydive? Can I just say that?
Oh, no. And do not encourage my husband to go skydiving, because if he goes skydiving, he's skydiving as a single man.
Uh-oh. Okay, I won't.
Or he's going to land as a single man. Please don't jump out of a plane.
No, I'm really scared.
Okay, good. Don't go then.
And Macy's husband, David, is always like, why would you jump out of a perfectly good plane? I'm like, I don't know. But when my grandma Betty, before she passed away, I remember asking all these questions. I was like, what's something you regret? What's something that you want to do that you regret? And she's like, skydive. And it won't, like, my car is named after my grandma Betty. Like, she taught me about integrity and, like, life. And she's like, skydive. And I'm like, I have to skydive for my grandma. I have to.
No. And even Katie is trying to say, no.
Is Katie saying to do it?
Oh, hi, Adrian.
Yes, Katie, I'll go with you.
No. Oh my God, I do not condone this, you people. Please do not fall out of a plane.
What's the one thing you want to do that's risky?
Part of me has always, okay, this is kind of a random two-part. Part of me has always wanted to, like, shave half my head, so I had like the half hair and stuff, but I don't think I have enough hair to do it. My hair's so thin. This is all smoke and mirrors.
You shave your head. I shouldn't say it that way. You have had no hair before because
I know.
you were emo and didn't.
But I feel like I would look like I was sick. No, Katie, stop saying it. No.
What is she saying?
She said, let's do it. I'm like, no.
To shave the head? Is she talking about shaving the head, right?
Oh, I thought she was still talking about jumping out of a plane.
I think she was talking about the hair. I think she was
No, Katie, you cannot shave my head.
I think you look so good.
But I think I'd look like, is something wrong? You know, are you feeling okay? Like, no, I did it on purpose.
Which version would you do then? You said not the whole head. Would you do
probably just like one side, or if I wish I had enough hair to do both sides, so I just had but I don't. It's very thin, and that would look,
I think you could rock it. I think you're crazy. I think the actress, is it Natalie Dormer, I believe? She did that. And I could totally see you rocking that. I think you'd rock it.
The thing I really want to do, I also want to dye it all purple, but I have to be able to, that's not that risky, but I actually want to get my eyes fixed.
Your what?
Like, my eyes fixed. My vision sucks.
Oh, like LASIK.
But I'm not a candidate for LASIK.
Why?
Because my eyes are stupid. I have to do this other one called like PRK, which I'm kind of scared, but I want to fix my eyeballs.
Okay. Well, you should. Well, I get it, because I also could get LASIK too, but I'm a candidate, but I just won't do it.
I know it's scary, right?
I just have this weird fear that, like,
you'll be blind?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my eyeballs. I need them for stuff.
Because I've definitely done crazier things, but I'm so worried about my eyeballs being damaged, I guess. I don't know.
Now, everybody's saying, okay, we're like at an hour, and everybody's saying
they said
longer than an hour.
I did see that it said we can go longer, but I feel like if we go longer than people, like, we need to save stuff for next time.
Oh, no, I totally get that. I just don't want to get cut off in like
we won't.
seconds.
Unless people are wrong. Guys, respond right now. I've seen a bunch of comments.
Sometimes it doesn't work. I'm half blind already. Okay. It's 1 and it didn't cut off. Okay.
The only thing I worry about is, anyways, we'll wrap it up. But
we'll wrap it up.
I was like, okay, we haven't gotten cut up. Is every time that in the past that they've ever cut me off, is you lose the live, and I would hate to lose the live.
Yeah, let's end this and hopefully do it again soon. Thank you guys for joining and listening and tuning in, and all of you beautiful Danielle fans out there. I know that mostly they're your fans because you're amazing, and so am I. So,
yes,
no, not I'm amazing. I'm a fan. That's what I meant.
No, you're amazing. I fucking love you. Excuse my
Can
language.
we
Sorry.
do this again so I can talk to you?
Would you? Yes, I think if anything, I would love it to hear from fans. Like, I would love to hear from fans like what topics you'd want us to talk about, and if we should do like a live little singing jam session or something.
Girl, yes, please.
I think it'd be fun. Or talk about screenwriting, or like kind of target like if there's anyone out there that want to be singers, songwriters, anything. I mean, I'm sure you know, go live. We could discuss what we did and then go live with them about what you could teach them a million things. You've been doing this forever and you're amazing at it. So I think we'll definitely do this again and talk about some other topics that I'd love to know what people.
I love you, lady. We all love you. Eddie, my mom, my parents, Katie, we miss you like crazy.
I miss you guys so much. I miss you all very, very much. I'm going to see you very soon.
Yes, please, promise.
Yeah.
And not falling out of a plane.
I might jump out of a plane attached to somebody else that's very qualified to pull a parachute.
No,
and land.
when I see you next, I don't want to see you falling out of a plane.
Okay. You won't. Katie.
Okay, thanks.
This was
all right,
awesome.
guys, I'm gonna save this live. Don't worry, I'm gonna save it. And yeah, keep writing, and thank you so much for submitting questions and everything, and for being so cool and so open, and all of your fans who've ultimately like they've really started being very supportive of me too, and I appreciate it so much. And,
Alex, it's not like it's difficult. First of all, thank you to all the fans that have gone to Alex's page and listened to her music and followed her because of something I posted. Thank you for even, doing that. But I mean, Alex, your work speaks for itself. Like, all I had to do was be like, hey, go look at that artist, and your stuff's amazing. So I'm so happy that people are loving it so much. And anyways, I love you too. This has been awesome. And you should always tell people where they can find your music. You have
yes. Oh my goodness.
Here.
Guys, I'm on Spotify. Alex Nester, Nester. I've got music here. I've got my music videos here on IGTV, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on my website, alexnester.com. You can always buy CDs. We've got vinyl available, got t-shirts. I know Margaret was wearing her t-shirt. I saw her post. What?
You have vinyl?
Girl, I got vinyl made. Yes.
I have a record player.
Ah!
Okay, I have to go purchase all the vinyls now.
Okay. All right. You're definitely, I'm holding one aside for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
so cool.
I'll let you wrap up. Sorry.
All right. So, and for all my fans on here who are mostly Danielle's fans, but for all of my other fans who are on here, go check out Danielle, Station 19. She plays Maya, and she's just killing it. And every time she gets a new role, she just crushes it. She's definitely one to watch out for. And I hope maybe someday I can be her date to an award show.
Deal.
Okay.
I want to end it with you is since we talked about women supporting women, thank you so much for all your support throughout the years, and to everyone that's watching, just one act of kindness to a friend or to a fellow woman really makes the world. So yeah.
So everybody go out and go find a woman friend of yours and tell her she's awesome and she's doing right.
Yep.
She's kicking ass and taking names.
Yes.
All right, guys, you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to save this live right now. Don't worry. And Danielle, I love you, and I will see you soon.
I love you too. I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.